Message from Sunnah followers. This is from Sheikh Saleh. We need to unite. Sisters, wear your hijab. Wear your beards. Be proud of your beards. Stay home, stay home, stay in your home. Stand up, unite, and stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right, Saleh. We all should stand up in solidarity, not transgressing the limits of Allah, but standing together with patience and understanding. This is Sunnah followers.
With dignity, humility, and balance.
If you want to learn about how to balance and maintain your faith every day, you need to be here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, being taught by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba, streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnah followers. Hope to see you there, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Yusuf and this is Ayub. And if you are benefiting like we are from the classes and the ongoing programming, tuning into the Sunnah followers, please donate. Let this be an ongoing sadaqah jariyah on your behalf. You're helping the kids, the converts, and everyone seeking knowledge. And it's a wealth of information every day you tune in. Don't forget, you are being rewarded for your generous donations to keep this programming on air. You know, just like what you're hearing, put your dollar where the dollar's at. Right here on Sunnah Followers. Don't forget, donate. Right here to Sunnah Followers and dollars Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Rowing your deed and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the Day of Judgment is sadaqah jariyah. Yes, I know, I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free, and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the sunnahfollowers.net website, pressing the donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, sadaqah jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment. Sunnah Followers presents a new hadith class taught by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba, Riyadus Salihin, every Monday and Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnah Followers.
Due to the many television shows, American Muslims today who are ignorant to the laws and rules of polygamy in Islam have idolized it to the LDS, not understanding that the LDS way of life is man-made and not based on a book of God. Also, Mormonism is divided into two groups: the Mormons who are against polygamy and the LDS that support it. Also, those Muslims in America who idealize what they see of this lifestyle on television are not aware that it is just a scripted, televised lifestyle. In real life, these people are hiding out and on the run from the federal government due to many state and federal law violations. Join Sunnah followers on January 9th at 9:30 p.m. as Ustadah Mukhtar Shahid and Dr. Ali Shahada discuss polygamy in Islam and how it has been compared and idealized with the LDS way of life. You do not want to miss this special Islam Q&A.
Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abuzaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Karim Abuzaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose. Know your Lord. We learn about His names and His attributes. Know your Lord. What He approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that He has before. Know His oneness, Lord. Know your Lord. Part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abuzaid. Right here on Sunnah Followers. Being taught by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnah Followers.
In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our aqeedah class for today. And this is a class that's based on the book written by Dr. Karim Abuzaid entitled Know Your Lord. And I hope everyone has a copy of this book. This is my second time teaching from this book. And inshallah, I hope to live to teach it again because, as I said, this is part of the curriculum here at Sunnah Followers. We start the Correct Belief series and we'll, circle around to it again. We start off with this book, which is the first of the Correct Belief series, and we go to Diluting El-Wala Wal-Bara, Volume 1, then El-Wala Wal-Bara, Volume 2, and we go back and it just circles around. Because again, aqeedah, that's what it's all about. If you want to enter into paradise, none of our good deeds are accepted if our aqeedah is not correct. And we have to really focus in on our belief system, because you don't want to be that person that stands before Allah, or even before then. You don't want to be that person that's in your grave, and when those last footsteps leave the grave, you get the shock that, wow, because I died upon a way other than total submission to Allah, I'm going to be in the hellfire. I died an unbeliever. I mean, I thought I was upon the correct belief system, but I wasn't. It was tainted. I didn't believe in the qadr of Allah. I didn't believe in the decree of Allah. I believed that man made his own destiny. Man was in control of his own destiny. Or I didn't believe that Allah was the creator of everything. I didn't believe that Allah created evil. I didn't believe that Allah created our actions. These are the beliefs of the Murji'ah. We believe, for those people, and as I tell you, most Muslims in the world today belong to one of the sets or groups of the Murji'ah. They believe that man creates his own actions. Man creates, his own actions, that Allah doesn't create evil, that Allah is not even in control of the affairs of things. Why is it that so many Muslims are having a hard time accepting the reality of this war? War has always been around. This isn't the first war that Allah has sent. My goodness, the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his companions were at war from the time he received the call to a prophethood to his death and the companions' death. They were at war. I mean, this is part of life. War is a part of life. People die. This is the way of the world, but no one's behaved as horribly as the people the Muslims of today are behaving about war. I mean, thinking that the power of stopping the war, changing the war is in the hands of the non-believers, that man is in control of that, and that's sad. The power and the might is in the hands of Allah, not the hands of man. But Murjia, the Murjia, we just the power and the might is in the hands of Allah. But Muslims today, many of them believe that the power and the might is in the hands of man, because man, they believe that Allah doesn't create evil, that war doesn't come from Allah, that the actions of man are determined by man, not by Allah. Astaghfirullah. This is why we have to learn about Allah. We have to learn the names of Allah, the attributes of Allah. And that's what we're going to be focusing in on today. That's what this whole book, Know Your Lord, is all about. It's about that aspect of Allah, the lordship of Allah, learning his names, learning his attributes, learning the actions of Allah. And if we understood these things, then we'd be able to submit. We'd be able to submit to Allah's decree. We'd be able to handle the trials of life, the hardships of life better. We'd be better Muslims. We'd be like those original companions were. So tonight we're going to speak about the differences, because there are differences in Allah's names and attributes. And we make a lot of mistakes as Muslims. Allah tells us to emulate his names, but we cannot emulate his attributes. And we're going to speak about that tonight. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And for those of you who are not on YouTube and can't see me and my PowerPoint, this is when you, oops, what happened here? Oh, this is when you want to open up a tab on your cell phone to YouTube and join my channel Sunnah Followers, so you can see the PowerPoint that I'm placing up on the screen right now. And these are the pages we're going to cover tonight, pages 139 through 147. And I'm going to break it down slowly today. I tried to get rid of a lot of the Arabic terminology, because when giving dawah to the non-Arabic speaking people, I usually don't teach this way. I don't break it down in categories, as my students know, of Tawheed, and I don't use a lot of Arabic terminology. I use very little, because that's how we lose our audience. That Arabic confuses the English-speaking people, because they don't understand English too well. They know more or less Arabic. So tonight I'm going to break this down really slowly. And I know that when I speak fast, because I have, I get to speaking fast sometimes, I'm going to speak slowly tonight myself to help you to understand, and try to make this as simple, because I usually don't teach like this. But we're going to be following the book of Dr. Karim abuzaid, and he breaks this down. He's going to be using Ibn Qayyim's approach. Ibn Qayyim broke this down into some categories. And I'm going to try to help you to understand these categories. And I've took the Arabic terminology out of it and used English. And I'm going to try to make this simple, more simple for you to understand, so you don't get it twisted and don't get confused. We're going to speak about the differences between Allah's names and his attributes. And I think that this is a reason why a lot of the American or English-speaking Muslims get confused with these attributes and names. When it's presented by the Arabic speaking brothers who are upon the correct belief system. And they don't get confused when the Murji'a teach them, because the Murji'a use English. The Sufis, when they teach it, they don't use all that Arabic. Okay? They make it simpler, and they use that beautiful, elegant speech. You know, they speak like this. They speak like Caucasians. You know, they speak like your English literature teachers in college, and make it simple by using the Caucasian dialect. So I am not going to use the Caucasian dialect, although I could, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use plain, simple English to make it grassroots English to make it clear. I'm not going to use that Arabic to confuse you. So we're going to go over the differences between Allah's names and attributes, so you don't make the mistake. And I'm not going to add this Murji'a stuff, the Murji'a stuff. I'm going to tell you the mistakes they make, though. I'm going to point out the mistakes that they make with this, so you can recognize what beliefs you come from, so you don't make those mistakes anymore. So we're going to be covering pages 139 through 147, 139 through 147 of the book, minus all the Arabic terminology. Everybody see it? Okay, let me put that, and I'm going to make it my screen a little larger so I can read it from my Zoom room. Yeah, okay. Took me a minute. The class is going to be short, but it took me a while to do the PowerPoint because I had to do a lot of, taking stuff out. All right, everybody can see me. And I did put it together on Rumble for my sisters in South Africa and Australia. Yeah, you guys, yeah, I fixed the Rumble. I didn't forget you guys today. Yeah, I got the right setting up there, inshallah. Okay, let's get started. Now, I'm going to go real slow. Now, there are four major differences between Allah's names and his attributes. All right? You guys see that? Number one, the first difference. The names of Allah refer to himself and one or more of his perfect attributes, such as names which can refer only to Allah himself and his qualities of power, knowledge, wisdom, hearing, and sight. That's number one. Okay. Number two, we may derive attributes from his names. Now, this is important. But we cannot come up with names from his attributes. And this is where a lot of those Sufi groups get it twisted. I'm going to give you some examples as to how. Okay, let me repeat that. We can come up with attributes. I'm going to take the word derive and break it down in plain, simple English. What does it mean to derive? Derive means to come up with. We can come up with attributes from his names, but we cannot come up with names from his attributes. Allah affirms the attribute. And here's an example. Allah affirms the attribute of plotting to himself. For example, he says in the interpretation of the meaning, remember when the unbelievers plotted against you, O Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to imprison you or to kill you or to get you out from your home in Mecca? They were plotting, and Allah too was planning. And Allah is the best of planners. Here we can see We cannot come up with the name, the plotter. We cannot make up a name saying Allah is the plotter from the attribute, because he did not refer to himself as being the plotter. Do you guys get it? And I hope that, I know a lot of my people, I need somebody to answer me, to let me know that I'm making this clear, because this is where the Sufis get a lot of you twisted. They will make up names. They will make up attributes from the names of Allah. Okay, they will make up. Wait a minute, let me look at this. This is my phone. I want somebody in a Zoom room though, not to message me. Is Mina here? Because I can't look at the phone too. I need somebody in a. I'm here. Okay, let me know, am I making this clear? Because you know the other people won't answer me. Again, this second point is how the Sufis get them. We can come up with attributes from the names, but we cannot make up a name from the attribute. We cannot make up the name, the plotter. We can't say that Allah is the plotter just because he says here that they were plotting against you, but Allah too plotted and planned, and he's the best of planners. We can't say that this is a name of Allah. Okay, we cannot say, we can't say that one of Allah's names is the plotter. He's the plotter because they plotted and he plotted too. So we can't do that. We can't make up a name unless Allah has given himself that name. We cannot make that name up. But you will find a lot of murji'at, a lot of Sufi groups will make up names and assign them to Allah based off of statements like this. We can't do that unless Allah has given himself that name. Is that clear, Sister Mina? Does that make sense? Yeah. You understand? Is that a good example? And you're going to find a lot of Muslims that will say, oh, Allah is the plotter. They'll call him the plotter. You will hear people say, Allah is the plotter. We can't do that. Look at this hadith. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he described Allah with the attribute. How many of you have heard this? Or y'all know where I'm going with this one. You hear this all the time. Allah, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has described Allah with the attribute of descending. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says Allah descends. Descend means to come down. Allah comes down every night to the lowest heaven during the last third of every night, and he raises it. He asks, is there anyone who is in need of me? Is there anyone who demands anything from me? Do you know that there are some Sufis? You guys have heard people say, oh, Allah is the descender. They'll give him that name. He's the descender because he descends every night. The descender. We can't make up a name like that unless he calls himself the descender, unless he has given himself that name. We can't call him the descender. Even though he affirms that he comes down to the lowest heaven, we cannot call him the descender. Is that clear? Does everybody understand that? And on this other program, I see I got some Sufis because they're arguing with me right now. They're debating. They're typing and trying to debate. Okay, this is an innovation. You have to bring forth the clear evidence. You have to bring forth the evidence from the Quran, where Allah refers to himself as a name, where he names himself the descender. Where is the verse where Allah refers to himself as the descender? For the Sufis on this program who are messaging me real crazy, which I'm getting ready to block you, saying that I'm wrong. The beauty of Islam is these are murji'at. These are murji'at. The beauty of Islam is everything is supported with clear nas, clear evidence from the Quran or the authentic hadith. So bring forth the verse where Allah says that I am known as the descender. Bring it for the people who are messaging me. They're quiet. Okay? See how they're quiet? They're not typing, are they? They're looking. They said he's looking. Okay, yeah, look it up. Look it up and bring it. All right. I knew I would have Sufis in here today. I knew when I taught this class that I would have the haters of Karim abuzaid and myself would be present. I knew it. I was prepared. Okay. Also, here's the third point. Okay, yeah, you search. We'll wait for you to bring your verses of the Quran, and you feel free to join my Zoom room too. And I hope I have moderators in there. Okay, here's the third point. Okay, our knowledge. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're from Algeria. It doesn't matter. Where are you from? I'm from Mars. It doesn't matter. Our knowledge of the attributes of Allah is greater than that of his names, since each name refers to, again, nas, textual evidence of at least one attribute, but not all his attributes can refer to a name. This is a reality. What does that mean? That means that many actions are referred to Allah in textual evidence, such as his coming, his going, his taking, his catching, and his using force. And we believe these actions are attributable to Allah in a manner that befits his majesty. But still, because we do not ascribe names to him based on those attributes, the number of authentic attributes is greater than his names. This is a fact. And I know that those of you who are of Murji'a backgrounds will refute that as well. But we tell you again, bring the nas. Okay? Also, this is the fourth point here. We may call upon Allah using his names directly. But if we call upon him by using his attributes, we must be inclusive. This is important. Inclusive of supporting language to avoid implying an innovation. For example, O Allah, by your knowledge of the unseen and your power over creation. This is a supplication that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us. Keep me alive so long as you know that living is good for me, and cause me to die when you know that death is better for me. This is an authentic supplication that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to say when you find yourself in a predicament where, we don't commit suicide. We should never wish for death. Instead, he said, say this, but we may not say, oh, you, the designer of my life, keep me alive. Okay? We don't say, oh, you, the designer of my life. Okay?
because it is shaped on the referent to attributes, and we don't use his attributes like that. We can't say, oh Allah, you are the designer of my life. We can't use that attribute like that. Okay? Do you guys get it? Does that make sense, Amina? Yeah. Okay, the people here, I got a problem with that. Of course you do. The brother from Algeria. Of course you do. But again, we have to bring the nas. Okay? So establishing Tawheed in the names and the attributes of Allah necessitates affirming, negating, and staying away from distorting Allah's names and his attributes. Also, it entails not likening him to his creation. We can only use his names and use his attributes the way he tells us and has used them based on the Quran and how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to use them. And this is where people deviate. Remember, everything in this religion is based on only two sources: the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to have the nas, brothers. Okay? We have to avoid speculative theology on the nature of Allah's attributes. This is where people go wrong. This is how it all went wrong. The companions didn't have a problem with that. It all went haywire when Islam spread it through the Persian Empire, through the Roman Empire. When Islam spread it to these other nations and people embraced Islam, they brought their speculative theology with them. And that's when everything went haywire. The companions, they didn't distort Allah's names. They didn't distort Allah's attributes. Okay, they didn't do that. It's the other people who embraced Islam, the Persians, the Romans, the Indians, even the Egyptians. When these other people embraced Islam, that's when they began to distort Allah's names and attributes. That's how it happened. Okay? So, let's talk about a few things here. We have to affirm with complete submission everything which Allah affirmed for himself in his book, which is the Quran, or which his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared for him, without the fatality of the following mistakes. And what are those mistakes? Number one, negation. And what does negation refer to? Negation refers to canceling Allah's names and attributes by refusing to affirm them, whether entirely or partially. And this is what happened as Islam spread it out of Arabia. As other people embraced this beautiful way of life, they brought their own speculative ideology into it. The Persians brought theirs. The Indians brought theirs. The Egyptians brought theirs. Everything became distorted. The companions, the Arabs, didn't have that distortion, because remember, before the Arabs they followed Islam. They followed the way before the Prophet Muhammad. They followed the way of Abraham alayhi salam and Ismail. They believed in Allah. They just didn't believe that he was the only one worthy of worship. They worshiped others along with him. They were pagans because they worshiped others along with him. They believed that Allah was the creator. They believed that, but they believed that he was not the only one worthy of worship. That was the problem with the Quraysh. That was the problem with the Arabs. But they had a concept of Allah being the creator and all of that. All right. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got them back on the right track, okay, Abu Bakr had them on the right track. Umar radiallahu anhu had them on the right track. Uthman, Ali. When Islam spread out of the Arabian Peninsula and it went into Persia, the Persians were Magians. They worship fire. Okay, the Romans were Christians. Okay, the Egyptians were pagans. Okay, these people embraced Islam. Okay, and they brought in a whole bunch of speculative ideology. Okay, that's when all the drama began. All right. When it comes to accepting the names and attributes of Allah, we have to accept them without canceling them out. We have to accept them in their totality, entirely. Okay? We cannot sit there and cancel the names and attributes of Allah by refusing to affirm them, whether entirely or partially. So what happened, this is after the companions. As it got even more twisted after those third generations, as each generation died off, it became worse and worse and worse. During the time of Ibn Qayyim, he was not a companion. But during his time, he tried to make it easier. He was Persian. He was not even Arab. Okay, he was a student of Ibn Taymiyyah. He said, let's try to help these people to understand, Allah's names and attributes. He put them in categories to try to help the people understand. He put them in 3 categories. He said the negation, you got some people who negate the creator completely. These are the atheists. These are the people that don't believe in Allah at all. They deny the existence of the creator. Now remember, the Quraysh, they were not atheists during the Prophet's time. The Quraysh believed in Allah. They were not atheists. They just didn't believe he was the only one worthy of worship. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not dealing with any atheists. Okay, the companions weren't dealing with them. All right. So now Ibn Qayyim, him and Ibn Taymiyyah, different set of people, because Islam has spread it. The Persians had embraced Islam. Remember, before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, he told the companions, this hadith is authentic. Pay attention to this hadith. You'll find this hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari. He told the companions before he died, he looked at them, he said, you will be replaced or you will be followed. They said, what do you mean, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He was having a, prediction of the future. He pointed, Salman al-Farsi was walking past. He pointed at him. He said, you will be replaced. And he pointed at him by his people. He said, either they will replace you or you will follow them. He wasn't talking about those companions. They didn't know what he was talking about. But we saw what happened, that what he meant after they died off. Either the people will, his people will replace you, or the people will follow them. The Persians, okay? The Imams, the 4 Imams were not Arabs except for one. They were Persians. Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim, they weren't Arabs. They were Persians. The great scholars that came after the companions, they were Persians. Either they will replace you in knowledge, replace you in leading the people, teaching them the deen, the sunnah, or you will follow them. Who is Ibn Sina? He was one that started a whole bunch of innovation. He was one that started a whole bunch of fitna. Or they will replace you. The people will follow them off to the left. That hadith makes a lot of sense. The people saw what that hadith meant later, way after the companions. All right. So Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah spent his life trying to call the people back to the Sunnah, trying to call them back to the companions, to the original Islam, the traditional Islam, and so did his students. Okay? So Ibn al-Qayyim, he put this into 3 categories. The negation, because the people were negating, they were twisting and messing up, Tawheed. So, number 1, the negation, either they negate the creator completely by denying the existence of Allah. Those are the atheists. Then the second group, they negate Allah's names and attributes. These negators, what happens is they may affirm Allah's existence. They may believe in the existence of Allah, but they negate his names, his attributes, and actions by denying them or attributing them to the created beings. This type of negation is done by the grave worshipers, people who worship the graves. They say they believe in Allah, but they deny Allah an attribute by giving the quality of that attribute to their saints, like the Shiites. The Shiites, they give that quality of Allah to their imams, and also the extreme Sufis, the Murji'ah, the Sufis, they give it to the leaders of their spiritual path. So that's the second type of negation. And then the third type of negation, you got people who negate Allah's worship. These are the people that worship something other than Allah, such as the grave worshipers we have today. These are the people that claim they believe in Allah, but they worship something other than Allah. They attribute the worship that should be exclusive to Allah to someone else. And we know people that do that. All right. And also, we got 2 main types of negation. Complete negation. This is to strike out Allah's names and attributes completely. These are the Jamia. These are the people who deny Allah's names and attributes entirely. They call themselves Muslims, but they deny Allah's names and attributes entirely. We talked about them before. A lot of people may belong to this group without even knowing it. We got a lot of Muslims here in America that may belong to that group and don't even know it. They deny Allah's names and attributes completely. And then the partial negation, this is to accept Allah's names and attributes and deny others. For example, the Murji'ah, who believe that, Allah ain't the creator of evil. Okay? The Mu'tazila, the Zaydiyah, the Rafida, the Ibadiyah, they accept some of Allah's attributes, but deny others. Believe that Allah doesn't have the power to stop the war. That's why they voting in the Kafir elections. That's why they protesting and all this other stuff. I tell you guys, most American Muslims fall in one of those groups, are Murtajiyah. Okay. Also, we have another big group, the Ashariya. A lot of Americans are in that group. A lot of the TikTokers y'all love. A lot of these TikTok women y'all follow are Ashariya or Murji'ah. They affirm Allah's names, but they negate his attributes. They accept only 7 of Allah's attributes, including ability, knowledge, divine will, life, hearing, sight, and speech. The Ashari and the Maturidi, they partially negate the balance of Allah's attributes, and they distort Allah's attributes meanings And we're going to talk more about the Ash'ari tomorrow and the Maturidi, because many American Muslims fall in one of those two groups. They're all part of the Sufi groups. Either you're Ash'ari or you're a Maturidi. Most American Muslims, with all this protesting and TikToking and, you know, the way you dress and act, behave, and my faith is in my heart and all that other stuff. You're either one of those two groups. They believe that the Quran is the creation of Allah, not the words of Allah. And they only accept 7. The Ash'ari only accept 7 of Allah's attributes. Many of these famous brothers y'all like to listen to are Ash'aris. They're Ash'ari Muslims. They call themselves Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'at, but they're Ash'ari. They only accept 7 of Allah's attributes. And we're going to talk more about them tomorrow. So we have to be real careful. And that's why I tell you guys, we have to be very careful with the knowledge that we're taking off the internet. Because I tell you guys all the time, 97% of the people that you are listening to on this internet, they belong in these deviant groups, to be honest. Their aqeedah is not like the companions. They don't believe in Allah's names and attributes correctly. And you're learning wrongly. They're not teaching you based on Quran and Sunnah. They're really not. They're not. And that's why Allah is angry with us and sending this war and all this stuff. Whenever you live to see war and calamities, that's a sign that we're off as a nation with our aqeedah. Allah sends war when we are off as a nation, when our aqeedah is totally messed up. The basics, the aqeedah, the tawheed ar-rububiyyah, the lordship of Allah, the basics, our basic concept of Allah, belief in him is messed up, distorted. All this charity, all our good deeds, none of this stuff matters if our perception of Allah is incorrect. I don't care how well you speak Arabic. You can recite the Quran like a sheikh and sing it to the cows come home. If your perception of Allah is off, none of that Arabic matters. I can sit here and twist Allah's words around, you know, because of my speech impediment all I want to. Allah don't care about that. It's my perception of him. It's my belief in him and my perception of him, his names, his attributes. That's how you get into paradise. Your perception of Allah has to be on point. How you pronounce his names with an Arabic, that ain't got to be on point. Moses had a speech impediment. That shows how much Allah cares about a speech impediment. Moses had a speech impediment, but Moses' perception of Allah was on point. On point. Your aqeedah has to be on point, not how you pronounce a word. A lot of people have speech impediments. Get off of people about how they pronounce a word. What's my aqeedah, Aqi? Is my aqeedah corrupt? That's what matters. Not how I pronounce sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You guys get it? Yes, Sister Sakita, you can't make up names for Allah that he didn't give us. And the Sufis tell you that you can. I got a brother on this program right now going crazy. He ain't gave the Dalil yet. He still ain't gave us the verse that says we can call Allah the plotter. Where is the name that says he's the plotter? He ain't produced it yet, but he's jumping up and down because he's Algerian. I don't care about you being Algerian. Give me the verse where Allah calls himself the plotter. That's his name, or the descender. Who cares what you from Algeria? I'm from Jupiter and Saturn. So what? Yes, we can't rename. And whoever told you that you can do that, Sakina, this is a person that's leading you to the hellfire. We can't make up names for Allah. We can't do that. But the Murjiat tell you that you can. Like this brother here on this other program is jumping up and down saying that you can. But he's given no evidence. I've given you the evidence where you can't, but he's saying that you can. Okay, Allah is the fashioner. Since Allah fashioned me so elegantly, oh Allah, you are the fashioner. I can't call Allah the fashioner. Is there a name called the fashioner? I can't make up a name like that. You can't just make up a name and say, Allah, you're the fashioner. What do you mean the fashioner? I can't make up a name like that and say he's the fashioner because he fashioned me so beautifully. Allah is the fashioner. I can't make up a name like that. The fashioner of what? I can't do that. That's not one of the names he's given to us. You have to learn. That's why it's important. Allah has not, he has more names than 100. He has more names than 99. But we have to stick with those 99 that he's told us of, CC. The only names that we can use are the ones he's told us of. We can't make up another name. I can't sit here and make up a name like, Allah tells us he's beautiful. Beautiful is a name. That's one of his names. He's beautiful. Allah loves beauty. Allah is beautiful. That is one of his names. Allah is Akbar, the greatest. That is one of his names. Allah is the Most High. The Most High is one of his names. Allah is the Hidden. That is one of his names. But I can't call him the lowest. I mean, I can't just make up, oh, he's a sidewinder. Where does Allah call himself a sidewinder? I can't make up a name like that. I can't call Allah the sidewinder. You just can't make up a name. To Allah belongs all the most beautiful names. So because I think that sidewinder is a beautiful name, can I call Allah sidewinder? You just can't make up a name like that for Allah. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying, guys? We got to stick with the names Allah has given us, that he has told us of himself. You call upon Allah using the names that he has told us of himself. And the attributes that he has told us of himself. You don't make up none. You guys get it? Don't make up names for him. Don't make up attributes for him. Don't make up stuff for him, because you end up lying on him. You guys get it? Just stick to what he says. Don't add to it. Don't take away. And this is what these Murjiat have you doing. He's the plotter. Plotter can be deceitful. When you look up the meaning of the word plot, a plotter can be somebody deceitful too. Allah is not deceitful. That's why we don't do that. You look up the meaning of the word plotter. A plotter can be good and a plotter can be bad. You see what I'm saying? You could be saying something bad about your Lord. That's why we have to avoid that. Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody understand?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am. I know you said nobody ever answers you. Yes. I know she overlooks us, Latifah.
Y'all don't be answering when I be asking for somebody to explain that. Am I explaining? Y'all never give me an answer.
And you are so correct. That's why I made sure I spoke up now.
Yeah, now y'all did.
I do answer from time to time.
But when I be needing
they
y'all,
want answers.
that's time
We
to
do
time,
answers.
but not all the time.
Well, we don't have you be asking for Mina, so we let Mina be the one.
No, but sometimes
it's not like we're not here.
no, I need it every time when I'm trying to explain something like this.
But it takes time to get to the mic sometimes, Layla.
I know.
Inshallah, we will do that.
Yeah, thank you, Latifah. Yeah,
okay, Latifah.
Cause this was important. I needed somebody to answer this. Cause I got an idiot sitting up in this other program. I need to know if it was getting.
Because this is the second time I'm hearing all of these different sets. I'm getting a better understanding than I had before. But I still need to hear it like one more time, just for my sake.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna keep teaching this class, because and we get got to get stuff got to get in there, and we got so many deviant teachers out there and groups out there that's teaching this the opposite of this stuff. It's ridiculous. And by the way, guys, please make sure you look at the shorts I put out. The class that we went over yesterday in the Mekha Siddiq Tafsir class on Surah Al-Ma'idah, I did put out 3 shorts this morning about how Allah gets our attention with Surah Al-Ma'idah. Please look at those shorts, because I'm going to throw that on the quiz. I'm going to give you guys a quiz on this tomorrow. And I'm going to throw in that quiz what we talked about with Surah Al-Ma'idah, how Allah gets your attention. That's why it's important. Allah gets our attention on what's important. With those words like, oh, you who believe, that's his way of telling you, I'm getting ready to tell you something important. He grabs our attention, letting us know that what I'm getting ready to say is important. That's going to be on the quiz for this class tomorrow. Oh, you who believe, I'm getting ready to tell you something important. That's what he's saying. I'm going to throw that on that quiz tomorrow. So make sure y'all look at those 2 shorts, those 3 shorts I put out today. Go to the YouTube channel, click on the tab that says shorts. How Allah appeals to your heart, your soul, your mind, and your desires with those words. When he says, oh, you who have believed, or he'll say, oh, you mankind. That's like, y'all better listen up. I'm getting ready to tell you something important. That's how he appeals to us, like, you better listen. And I use the potty break. You might have to be getting ready to go to the bathroom, but when you read that verse, you forget about the bathroom and you listen, because it's something that's getting ready. He's getting ready to tell you something that's important. It'll make you forget about the potty break and everything else.
Right.
I'm going to throw that on the quiz tomorrow. That shows how he's unlike any of his creation. He can hold your attention and make you forget the potty break.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that on the quiz. Yeah. You still can't find it, huh, brother? You can't find no verse where Allah calls himself the descender, huh? Even in Arabic, huh? Not in Arabic, not in French, nor in English, can you? You speak Arabic, French, and English. You can't find no name in Arabic, French, or English where he says he's the descender or the plotter, can you? And you speak Arabic, French, and English. Algerian. And you're Hafiz. You're Hafiz and can't find it. You won't be able to. What you got to say?
It's good that you're really pointing out when Allah commands, oh believers, he's talking to us. Because for a little while, when I first started reading the Quran, I wasn't thinking of myself as he was talking to me. I was thinking that he's talking to the believers of that time. So I'm glad you bring that out, because it took a little while to understand Allah is having a personal conversation with you too. You're a Muslim, you're a believer, you're faithful, you are a non-Muslim, you are whatever you are. Allah speaks to each of us. You know, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's
So
going to
I'm
be on
glad
the
that
quiz.
you pointed that out.
Yeah, anytime you read the Quran, that's a personal conversation between you and Allah. That ain't to the people old times. That's to you today. Exactly. That's going to be on the quiz tomorrow. So make sure y'all look at those shorts I put out. The shorts that I put out will be on the quizzes. But that's the important part of the Maqasidic Tafsir classes too. Anytime you read the Quran, that's on the quiz. It's going to be on the quiz. It's a conversation, a personal conversation between you and Allah. Allah is talking to you personally. That's why the Prophet said, ponder. When you read the Quran, you're supposed to have your concentration on it because that's a personal conversation between you and Allah. He's talking to you. He ain't talking to the past people. The past people are gone. He's talking to you. He's trying to tell you something, and he's talking to you on every level, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and through your desires. And Brother Hafiz here can't even find the word, the name, the descender, and the plotter.
You'll never find it. You'll never find it.
Because it don't exist. So that shows how all that Hafiz ain't going to save you, bro.
That's right. Okay.
And by the way, all my nieces and nephews are all Hafiz too. That shows how anybody can be Hafiz.
That's right.
All right, guys, I'm going to log out. We have the Ask Sister Laila live show tonight at 9:30. Bring your questions about Islam, and inshallah, we'll answer them. So I'll see you guys tonight at 9:30. Make sure you guys are here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum. See you back here in a couple hours.